was young, they said I won't be nothing. Now they always say congratulations. Worked so hard, forgot how to vacation. They ain't never had the dedication. People hate and say we changing.
Just realized this is a bit like fishing. Just waiting for someone to bite.
And I know it's dramatic, yeah, but I know I had to have it, yeah. For the money, I'm a savage, yeah. I be using like I had it, yeah. I'm surrounded 20 bad bitches, yeah. But they didn't know me last year, yeah. Everyone wanna act like they important, but all that mean nothing when I saw my dog, yeah. Everyone counting on me, drop the ball, yeah. Everything custom like I'm at the bottom, yeah, yeah. If you fuck with winning, put your lighters to the sky. How could I make sense when I got millions on my mind? Coming with that bullshit, I just put it to the side. Boss said so baby, they can see it in my eyes.
Well, thanks for sitting down with me.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, of course. Nice to meet you. Yeah. So how's your day going?
Pretty fine. I had a friend who came visit me, and we went for a walk, and it was nice. I mean, the weather is so nice, so I
Yeah. I'm kind of regretting not bringing sunglasses, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm just kind of getting cooked here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You're also sitting just right in front of the sun.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's a good
it's
day
like-
for a walk. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really, because when I sat down here, it was like all cloudy.
Yeah.
But now I'm I'm getting a good tan in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I have like a question for you. If you wanna answer a question. Yeah, like, do you believe in destiny?
Oh.
And I don't know also what even is that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I guess a lot of people have probably different thoughts about that, what that even means. So I think it's interesting to think about, like, at least.
Yeah.
Because when I say destiny, like, what pops into your mind? Like, what do you associate with it? I guess.
It's like something that it's already written for me beforehand, and I'm doing like anything I do is just it's written already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like someone already wrote our story, kind
Yeah,
of.
exactly.
Like we're the
Yeah.
main character of
Yes.
someone's novel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I
do you
don't know. Sometimes it's scary to think that it is, because then you feel like you have no control.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's also nice to know that, okay, there is something, and I do whatever I do is I just go with it and don't question so much.
Yeah.
It's like having faith on something.
Yeah.
So
Like, do you mean like that we're gonna be all right, or
Yeah, it's
or
like-
things are gonna work out, something like
yeah,
that, or
anything gonna work
Yeah.
out, like no matter what. Like when you look at back and you think about things happen to you, and that moment you felt like,
yeah,
whoa, it's like it's gonna go bad, and then it
Yeah.
didn't, you know. So you
Yeah.
feel like, okay, maybe it's
Yeah.
like that.
So I guess that's what I wanted to ask. Like, if there is a destiny, like, do we shape it, or do we just accept it? You know what I mean? Like,
But I don't think I think we do no matter what. Like even if you think about it or not, like you do it. Like it's like something something drives you to do that things, you know, no matter what. So
yeah,
thinking so much about it is like, I don't know. I actually recently think a lot about it. Like I have some friends that they are, I don't know, recently they became very religious, and I'm like, they don't force it to me, but it feels like sometimes I feel like, whoa, it's nice to believe in something so badly that like it calms you, because whenever I'm with them I see that they are very calm, and anything you say they just say, oh, it's gonna work out, and they feel so calm. I don't know if they fake it in front of me or what.
Oh, that would be weird. If they
Yeah.
just put on a show or something.
Yeah, so I don't think they do that because they became religious by choice.
Yeah,
so
sure.
no one forced it to them.
Can you maybe put the microphone just a little
Oh,
bit closer?
sorry.
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem. No, I totally get what you mean. Like, I have religious friends too.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just look at them, and Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
and I just think to myself that that's just it looks nice. Like, it just, you seem so at peace and like with your beliefs
Yeah.
and the way you see the world.
Yes.
And sometimes I look at that and I go like, huh.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be too bad.
No.
I don't know, but it's hard. You can't really force faith upon yourself. You know what I mean?
No, and I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think it's religious. Like it's religion would do that to you because
No.
I come from a society that you had to be religious. Like it was forced, and I know like all that community I knew and all those people like they kind of like hate religious, and I do that too. So I don't think religion would be the answer. It's just like I think you have to find it inside. You have to find it inside. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's not religion. So if you believe, I mean, it could be destiny or anything else, but I don't know. I mean, it's funny you ask this because I have been thinking about it
Really?
recently. Yes,
Yeah.
like
It's hard to avoid it, right? In life
yeah,
at
it's
some
like because
point. Yeah.
when things happen to you, and then you kind of reflect on the stuff happened to
Yeah.
you, like what is going on, where I'm going.
Look for some
yeah.
meaning.
Yeah.
in it. Yeah.
And I feel like especially in Denmark, life it's not good.
No.
It's like
You mean like in general, or for you, or?
I mean, in general, I feel like I wasn't like this, but I feel like since I moved into Denmark, like I became so stressed about tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and work, things you should be or things you should do, and you can't stop. Like right now, for example, like if I wanted to think as like a Danish mindset, I would
Yeah.
have just passed because I have to see someone else somewhere in that. But I was just like thinking, let's just wait a minute. You don't have to be anywhere. Why, like.
Yeah.
So that's why these days I'm reflecting a lot, like why I'm so worried about these things that I should have or I should be, or so then I think what is my purpose, and yeah, why we have all those, and I think I didn't have it when I was in other country, like
Which country was that, if I may ask?
Yeah,
Or?
in Iran.
Okay.
Like I didn't have much money, or I didn't have much of this security that you have in Scandinavia, maybe
Yeah, yeah.
in general. But I was way more happy, and I cared more about my day now than tomorrow. And I lost that side. That's why I'm like thinking all the time, what happened to me? And and my
Same.
friend also, the one I was just talking to, she's from Italy, and she has that question too. And she feels like here is like, I don't know, it's like the capitalism or something. It's extreme here, and it makes you suddenly you realize you're just going like this all the time, and you have no
Yeah.
time to wait and talk to someone or look into someone's eyes. You know?
Yeah, like that's interesting. Did you notice that immediately, or was it over time you started to realize, something has changed, or was it like, how fast did you like realize this was happening to you? Or
I think like because me and her, we both came as like a student here, and so in the beginning we were like, you have this thing like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, you have to like find a home, house and everything. And then it slowly when it was so hard to find friends or make network or find a community, then we realized, oh my god, like it's super hard. But that's like we thought, okay, we are foreigner. But then now, because our life is more settled and I come to school every day, and but then I think after we get settled, we realize, oh, something's wrong. Like what we do wasn't like that. Like we had that kind of life before too, and but we enjoyed it more. And we had this thought about, oh, like what's gonna happen tomorrow, but not like as extreme here. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
That makes sense. Like when the initial chaos, and when you go somewhere new, there's always going to be a lot of like confusion and
Yeah, like in the beginning.
yeah.
you have
But then
that.
when you were settled, you kind of like realized,
I mean,
like
yeah.
something's different.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, recently I'm reflecting a lot because I can see I have this extreme stress about
yeah,
my future,
Yeah.
know? And I'm like, I didn't have it before like that much. Like, what did
No.
it?
It's interesting that you say that. You mentioned something about people being afraid of the gaze. It's like when I'm sitting here, for example, like they don't really want to like look me in the eye. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because if they
Yeah.
do, then that means like they have to stop for a second, or they might
Yeah.
have to talk to you, and they have to be somewhere. They don't have a time, even
Yeah,
5
yeah.
minutes to.
People are busy. Do you think it's? Do you think if I doing something like this would be different in Iran? Like, how would people receive it?
I think they would be curious, and they would just. Oh, sorry. They would. I think they would be very curious, and then
Yeah.
they would just stop because. I think it would be different. Like people would not just pass you. Like they would just stop and say, "What is this? What are you doing?" And maybe
Yeah.
they stay for like 10 minutes, or they would tell you,
Yeah.
"Hey, I have to be somewhere, but can we talk for 2 minutes or
Yeah.
10 minutes?" They would do that. I think.
No, if I did this like 50 years ago, people would probably be like, "What are you doing?
Yes.
Like, you crazy person." But I think now people are just so used to like all sorts of things
Yeah.
because of social media and stuff.
Yes,
So
yes,
so
yes.
people are just like, it's just,
Yes.
just another weird thing.
Yeah. Well, how many people did you talk to?
Today,
Yeah.
just you.
Oh.
Yeah.
When did you start?
Like an hour ago, something like
Oh,
that.
okay. So
Yeah,
you
so
still
I've,
can.
I've,
yeah.
I've just been chilling. Yeah.
I think
so-
there's still hope. I think.
Yeah.
I think also like this area, like people are very open. No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So how do you mentioned something about like building a network, and like, so how did you go about that? Like, how did you do you think it's hard to meet people, or
I think in general, like stereotype. I don't want to talk like a stereotype about Danish food. I like you guys. Like I don't want to say like no. It's like
I think that's hard anywhere though. Like
Yeah.
if you go somewhere new, it's gonna be hard to like establish that network and security. But
yeah.
but,
But I
maybe,
think I understand it now. Like in the beginning, I was like super annoyed at Danish people that why like they have this circle. Like I have now like new friends that they recently came to Denmark, and they make those comments like Danish people have this circle from the school or from high school or from the university or family, and then they close it, and the doors is not open. And because it's not like that in my community, and also like the country, like I don't know, like south of Europe, because I also have a lot of friends there, even though I was there for like a short time. But our circle is always open. Like my circle is always open. Like if I go for walk and see people and interesting, so let's hang out. But I was like that, and I'm still like that. But then I learned the language, Danish language, and then as I said, I'm more subtle. I have a job, I have a husband, and I have what do you call, like I'm very settled.
Yeah.
I have a work,
course.
school, and everything.
you start to reflect more when
I know,
when things are a
and
bit more
now,
subtle, right?
Exactly, and
Yeah.
now I found out like, that's the Danish life. Like you have to, like on Monday you have to start your work, and you have to be very focused with works. Like if it start from like 8 to 5, and then from 5 you have to go home, make dinner, and then watch something, and then sleep, and then day tomorrow, and then that's become your routine, and then you have like in weekend, like there's your calendar is always like full with people like making plan for future. So like you can't be impulsive, because like in 2 weeks you have to be with that person and that person, so you have to like kind of like do the things as fast as possible, and you have no time, you have to be. And now I know like that's why, because you get to this routine, your calendar is full. And I think because where I come from, no one make anything in the calendar, everybody do it now. Like if you have time now, let's do it. And so you don't have anything for the future. So I think that's the thing. Now I understand. Now I'm starting to close my circle, because I can see I'm getting stressed from all these events happening all the time.
Do you feel like a pressure? I have to close the circle.
Yes, you have
because
to.
I have to, do all the things in my calendar.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I was still so bad with calendar. Like I'm like almost like 31, and I can't. I'm not as like everybody else. I'm so bad at putting things on calendar. I'm really forcing myself. But because there was like time that I forgot the things that I had to do. So, and now I have to like really being like adapted to the life situation here.
I really like the image of like an open and closed circle, as you say. I just imagine like people sitting in a circle,
Yes.
facing inwards.
Yes.
So they're like, no, you can't
Yeah.
come in here. It's
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah.
It's a good image, because I think that's how it feels to a lot of people.
Yes.
Like you're just walking around, staring at people's backs. Like, "Hello, any room in here?
No.
No.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
went to Iran with my husband. He's Danish, and we went to a museum, and I just met some people, and then we start talking, and suddenly they came with us. Like whole day, they followed us. Like we were together, and then we become a good friend. And then for him, it was like, how can you do that? Like he's just or she's just a random person you just met. Like how? And I was like, but I think we can be a good friend. Like we have a lot of things, and I'm not even living in Iran anymore, but now she's my friend. Like we talk, and so it was.
Like, how did you meet that person? I didn't hear. Or-
I think we were just in a museum, and then I asked her something, and then she said, I know this, and then I said, where are you from? And she said, from here. And then we just continued.
That's awesome.
From that, yes.
But sometimes people can be like very scared to talk to each other.
Yeah,
like,
it's like that.
Yeah. So that's super cool. Like, so
Yeah.
are you like, when you're starting to realize these things, do you want to make like a change in your life, or are you just thinking about these things, or?
I just try to like, don't forget it, because like I feel like life here just makes you forget that you're human, and you have to do these things. Like
That's
you don't,
wild.
like you don't have to like all the time just thinking about your work, your career, your money or job, or like it's okay to sometimes just stop and talk to someone. That I try to like remind myself, because I can see sometimes I also like just imagine right now I just went and I was like, should I talk to this person? I went because I had to go do some shopping, and then I was like, should I talk? Shouldn't you? You just don't give a shit. You just go. And I was just telling myself like, like, no, do it. Like, do it. Not do it. Do it. Not. And then I was like, okay, just let's do it, because.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, people are not that scary. Like, after all, like,
No, I'm not
Yeah.
scared of people. Like, I'm not scared of people at all. It's just like, it's about like, do I have time to do that?
Yeah.
Do I have time to stop right now and talk to you? And of course you do. You do have
Yeah.
like 10 minutes to talk to
no,
someone, but
I'm-
sometimes you forget. You know?
I'm that way too. Like, if I have to talk to someone, or if I want to say hi to someone, I can be like, oh no, what if they don't like it? What if and all these, you can start to think all these things, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh no, you're just being silly. Just say hi. Like,
Exactly.
And then
exactly.
it's very rarely a bad time, because
Yeah.
people are just nice generally.
Yeah.
I think at least.
Yes.
So-
No, I think I found out with Danish people, they just busy, and they think of I mean, I'm not only saying Danish. I'm sorry, it's not only about Danish, but I just realized like it's the countries that I think this. I must say, like maybe the rich countries or like successful countries.
Yeah,
They are like that, and I always. And I shouldn't say that.
no, it's
but,
cool. That's your experience, you know.
But I think
That's,
like people, like when you go to Spain or you go to Italy or like I say south of Europe, you see like people they're more relaxed and they are not rich and they don't have much money as here, and they also scared of their future. There's a lot of things that they have doubt about, but they are more happy. I feel, you know, and.
yeah.
I think because they just know, like, okay, let's just take care of my day now, you know, and don't worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
You think you said before that it was more like human, so I have to ask, like, what does that like? What does it mean to? I get that. That's a,
sorry, that was
that's
maybe,
a rough. That's
that
a
was
rough.
maybe
No,
harsh.
that's also like a rough question from my side. Like, what does it mean to be
Sorry,
human?
sometimes I'm just
But-
harsh when I'm
but
speaking
that is
English.
interesting to think about. Like what is the human part of it? You know, what do we lose when we schedule everything and we close our circle? Is that like
I feel,
a humanity thing or?
aren't we become like a machine that we have to just do these things? Like they call it this hamster wheel.
Yes, the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Yes.
You become
Oh.
hamster.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
a cog in the machine, you know, like
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like you just kind of have to just turn and do your part. And
Yes,
like, yeah.
and then
it's
that-
not a nice feeling.
No,
like, when you feel that
you just
way.
I feel like scared suddenly, like oh my god, like I'm part of this big machine and they want me to
Yeah.
do these things and
Yeah.
that thing, and what about if I don't do it? What would happen? And you know,
No, I hear more and more people saying that. Oh, I want to get like an old Nokia phone and
Yeah, they
and
say
only
that.
have I feel like I hear more people saying that now because I think just being on all the time and taking care of your schedule and whatever, like there's some kind of desire to just tap
Yeah.
out of it.
Yes,
and
yes.
just, yeah.
So you see, like, everybody. I also get this stress, like, because you have this phone, and then there's a lot of like, there's Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and a lot of apps that people can reach you.
Yeah.
So, but before that, it was just the phone, and then if your phone was gone, so I'm sorry, like, my phone, well, I don't know, like, there was no battery, and then, or I don't have a phone, or I don't know, like these Nokia things when we had, like, it wasn't so easy to reach someone like this, and I,
Yeah, we're expected to be like available to
Yeah.
to everyone all the time.
Yes, exactly.
And that's a wild expectation,
Yeah.
kind of. And I know I'm guilty of that too. Like sometimes if I text someone and you don't get an answer for a couple of days, you go like,
what
what are you doing? And like,
Yeah.
and then
don't
it's,
you like me, or what's going on? Why you don't text me
yeah,
back?
and it's hard. But then it's like, oh man, that's also kind of crazy. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
let people live their lives.
Yeah.
it's
So
just
you also
wild.
feel that, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that actually a lot. So my phone is always on silent. Like I I get like so stressed out when someone called me suddenly. So I always told my friend, like, don't call me, text me if you
Yeah.
need me, because when you call me, I might be like in a moment that I don't want to talk. I don't want like my mouth to open. I just want to be
Yeah.
quiet. And if you text me, I would be like like, I start being worried. Like, what was the need? Like, huge need that you want to call, like you want to talk, or something's happened to you, and all these things. Like, I get scared. Like, I should call you back or what? La la. Just text me, and I'll answer. And I think a lot of people has that feeling and like I stopped my social media. Like, I'm not going there anymore, and sometimes I just want to smash my phone because I'm like so tired of it.
Okay, so
like-
you get that feeling too.
Yes.
So what? Did you feel any change after like doing that, or how did that affect your life when you chose to do that?
I don't think I was like really successful to do it. Like,
No.
really, like,
No,
I
it's
mean,
hard.
Yeah, like,
Because it's also kind of a gray zone because it's not like it's just all bad.
no,
It is nice to connect to people.
Yes,
It
yeah.
is easier to stay in touch with people and.
Yeah,
you know,
for me, it's
yeah.
actually very important because like most of my friends, like they they're in Iran. So like, for example, like Instagram for me is just a place that I can see how they're doing, and sometimes like there's a story and then we just, you know, you make a comment and then you start talking. Like it's just easy. So I only keep my Instagram basically, I think, only for my contacts in Iran. And or also like maybe sometimes it's too much for me because like whole my family, friends, everybody, they are in this damn fucking phone. So I get tired like that, you know, maybe I say like 60% of people I know, they are in that phone. So I get tired and I get exhausted that I should be really like, and I kind of like, it's like a love hate. I wanted to throw it out, but I need that because I need to talk to my parents, talk to like, you know, people.
Yeah, it's kind of like you get a bit almost like antisocial if you choose to tap out of it. Like,
Yeah, it's like not possible. Really.
You know, it's very hard.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very hard.
I'm
yeah.
kind of like happy that I have that option because then I can talk to my friends, family, people who I don't see them so often. Like I'm not able to. So that for me, it's like imagine like if I had to just send a letter to them. It was like so hard.
No, it's convenient, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
How often do you see your family back in Iran then?
Not so often. Like I think it's been like 3 years now. Like I couldn't go back.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
what made you leave, if I can ask?
I mean, I really wanted to see the outside,
Yeah.
and I found I found this like option. So I started traveling. I've been traveling like around Europe, and then I ended up being here.
Yeah.
And I stayed. Yes.
It sounds like you have like an adventurous spirit, you know? Like,
Yeah.
And now you're here, and now you're getting a bit settled, and now like, oh, I wanna.
Exactly.
What's outside my circle?
Yes, exactly.
yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and you can always keep doing that in different ways. Like
Yeah.
Small. You can have all sorts of adventures in life, right?
Yeah, I feel like maybe you're right. Like, you know, sometimes you hear things from this stranger and then you say, okay, you actually saw me better than I think that's it. Like sometimes if I get like into my comfort zone, I get scared actually.
No,
so I feel
I
like
get
I
that.
need to get out. I need to get out.
It's it's weird, like, it's scary being comfortable, but I can
Yes.
kind of relate to that
Yeah.
in some weird way. Like,
Yeah, because like I feel like that when you get too comfortable, like I don't know, your soul starts to like die.
Whoa.
I feel like
Yeah.
when you're out, then you scared, you like experience, you feel all those things. But when you're inside, then it just gets boring.
Yeah.
I think. But then you complain also, you know.
No, it's very. We can always find something to complain about, right?
Yeah.
But no, I totally. I get what you're saying. I mean, it would be more comfortable for me to not be sitting here.
Yes.
You know, like sometimes it's a bit awkward.
Yes. Yes.
but,
Yeah.
but it's usually fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But that's it's kind of like that.
Yes. Exactly.
I think.
Yeah.
And it would probably have been maybe a bit more comfortable for you to not like having to go up here and like, I don't know. There's something about not being comfortable sometimes.
Yeah, maybe I'm not comfortable sitting here right now, but I'm trying. You know, it's like it's always like
Yeah.
I think that makes the life more fun because then what would we be doing? Just sitting and doing the things that they expect us to do and then go home, make dinner, watch fucking some shit and then tomorrow again and then
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel that way.
Yes.
I'm guessing.
But I think the only way we can be against it, not against it, but just reflect. Like I think reflecting on what we do, it helps to just realize what should we be doing now, you know?
Yeah. No, like you said you were settled now, and then suddenly you reach a point where you ask yourself like,
What is going on? Something's wrong.
what do I want?
Yes.
What do I want? And then that really fucks you out. Like, it's like, oh man, like, then you have the extra like time and space to think about these things. And it's a hard question.
Yes,
It's a really hard
exactly.
question.
Yeah,
But,
because
yeah.
suddenly you feel like you see, oh, is this really what I want, or is this something I do because I have to do? You know,
Yeah.
this is something I have to do because I want to survive, I want
Yeah.
to live, or I want to be fit in, and
Yeah.
that's also human. Like
Yeah.
we do that because that's our unconscious. It says you need to survive, so you need to do these things. But is it really something that you really want to do?
Yeah.
So
And it's because you can just continue doing that, because then you think, oh no, I think I want to be a professional basketball player now. And then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, and then we go do that. And then if we imagined you did that and then now you're a basketball player, you would probably reach a point where you ask yourself, do I really want to be a basketball player? And then you find something else, then you're like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, I know it's weird being a human, right?
Yes.
So weird. Yeah. Can you see what time it is? Maybe
It's 3. Is it 3:30?
three. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to pack up soon then.
Yeah,
but
me
it's been
too.
really
Yeah.
nice chatting.
Yes,
Do you
yes.
have anything you wanna tell the world?
No.
You know, I'm probably gonna have to phrase that differently the next time. That's a hard question.
I hope I didn't make anybody angry.
No, I don't think so.
About-
I don't think so.
Like,
You know, it's nice just being able to express yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And that's your experience, you know.
Yes.
We all have our experiences. But yeah, it's been nice chatting.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Well,
Maybe it's good like this.
we can do it properly. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a